I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame. Today, we are bringing you number 197 on our compilation list. We will be featuring 3 judges, and today we are going to focus on one state, and that is the state of Washington. Listen, before I give you those judges' names, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Commentary will be left in for those that we previously shared here on the channel that had commentary in them, the proceedings. Also, chapters will be added for your convenience, even though I don't think you're going to want to jump over anything here on these 3 judges. And today we will be focusing once again on the state of Washington, and we probably will be doing so for the next day or so because there's so much footage that we have coming out of the state of Washington, so many proceedings, so many different judges. Now, let me give you the 3 that we will be focused on today. First, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Andrew Wheeler. Second, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Tim Lewis. And last but not least, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Jennifer Grant. Now, let's get ready to jump into 197 all the way from the state of Washington. Let's go.
Have a beautiful day. Hello. Hello. Okay, sir. So, well, we're here for readiness. Ms. Carmi, this is Mr. Duggar. He's
Yes.
scheduled for court for trial on the 26th.
Yes, I did have a chance to talk to Mr. Duggar. He is indicating an intent to move forward with trial.
Okay.
He is requesting a jury trial.
Okay.
I did in order to kind of narrow what our issues were, I did speak with him about that, and perhaps I would like him to discuss that with you. I think there is a divergence of less factual and more legal that he plans to argue.
There's facts and legal.
I know, and that's why I don't want to put words in his mouth. So I guess I'll let him tell you what his issues for trial are.
Okay. You want to do it right now on the record?
It's up to you, Your Honor.
My issues are all constitutional and they're all facts.
Here's my concern, Your Honor. He is
Supreme Court decided facts. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
He is asking for a jury trial. However, I believe some of his argument, most of the argument, is a question of law only. And that is whether he is required to have a driver's license.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why I am trying to strike a balance here with what he wants, with what the court procedure would be if it purely is a question of law. That would not be for the jury to decide.
Yeah.
Question rights.
No, I understand. But there's no argument about whether or not he has a license. We all agree on that.
I don't have one. Don't want one.
Okay.
So it's
I don't want
just
the restrictions of one.
whether he has to have one. So I believe this is properly a bench trial in front of Your Honor with briefing on the constitutionality and legal and requirement to have a license with that statement.
Where jail time is concerned, I'm entitled to a jury trial.
So, Mr. Duggar, my recollection is that you have some matters in Clark County as well. Am I right about that?
And
or
Stevenson.
wrong? In Stevenson?
And Clark County.
Okay, so you have.
I got a trial tomorrow in Clark County.
Okay. Okay. And are you representing yourself in that trial too?
I am myself. Yes, I'm pro per.
Okay. And you want to continue to represent yourself in these matters?
I continue to be myself. Yes, sir. You know,
I enjoy the nuance of the answer of the sovereign citizen always, sir.
I'm not a
I think
citizen.
well,
There's no such thing.
well, you know, I always enjoy the nuance of how an answered question can be just twisted just a little bit. So I agree. I think Mr. Duggar has the right to have a jury trial. Certainly the city will have the ability to certainly, Mr. Duggar, have you done trials on your own before?
I did one time, a long time ago,
Okay.
years back.
Okay, well,
About
you certainly
10
have
years.
the right to do that. You are held to a standard of understanding the rules of evidence and so forth. So right now, I am going to go through a waiver of your right to an attorney with you. Okay? And answer any questions you have. And if you want to, you can look at this before you bring it back up to me, okay?
Incompetent. Only incompetent people need attorneys.
Oof.
I'd be.
Yeah, I've heard the
Oh, yeah.
man
No,
who represents himself has a fool.
so you
for
have a
client.
right to remain silent,
Yes, sir.
okay? So I'm going to have to just, I'm going to read you this waiver of right to an attorney. You're going to sign off on it. If you understand the right, you can't later come back and say you didn't have effective assistance of counsel, okay?
You betcha.
Says, I understand I am charged with the crime indicated on the citation or complaint, that's driving while suspended in the third degree. The maximum penalty is contained in Appendix A, which is 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. If there are minimum penalties that must be imposed if I'm found guilty, those are outlined in Appendix A, which I have received a copy. There is no minimum penalties to the charge. I have the right to have an attorney represent me in all stages of this proceeding. If I cannot afford an attorney, I have the right to request a public defender. If I qualify, an attorney will be appointed to represent me. I may be at a disadvantage if I proceed without an attorney. I'll be required to follow the laws and court rules which apply to this case or these cases. These laws and rules can be technical and complex. I may not fully understand them without an attorney. I'm aware of the dangers and disadvantages of proceeding without an attorney. However, I choose to represent myself. Knowing the risks, I waive my right to be represented by an attorney. The court has had a colloquy or discussion with me on my rights to any attorney, my desire to waive this right. No one has made any threats or promises to get me to waive this right. I'm doing it of my own free will. I'm going to sign that you and I have read this. Do you have any questions about the waiver?
No, none. No.
That's no?
I said no, sir.
Thank you very much.
With my email on it, if you want to shoot it over.
I'm going to date the form just today's date for you, sir. Why don't you come on up? I'm going to make sure the pen I'm going to hand you is going to work. You have a pen? Okay.
I should have.
Sounds good. So the signature is here and the printed name is there. I'll get you a copy of that. Signature there, printed name there, please. Thank you. So here's what I think we should do, Ms. Carmi, or what I'm proposing, and I'll get here from Mr. Duggar on it as well. Okay, thank you, sir. That was your pen, so you go ahead and keep that. Okay, so right back to the microphone, Mr. Duggar, for me one last time. So I'm going to get this on the record. I know Mr. Duggar is making his way all the way from Stevenson to here. I would like us to maybe do a telephone check-in. Would you be comfortable at least having the court give you a call?
If you can get through where I'm at, it's like a black hole for cell phones.
Oh.
Way out the sticks.
Okay.
But you could try. You could give it a shot.
Okay.
I have a email address that I've been checking here lately.
Okay.
If you want that.
So
I
our
don't know if it
trial
has-
date, let me just make sure for everybody. Our trial date is set for a Tuesday, the 26th. How about, could we try to do a call on Thursday, the 21st?
You can try to call or probably be easier to get hold of me through the email. Because
Okay.
really, you'll probably go straight to voicemail
Okay.
and the only way I get my calls is go up to the top of the hill and
Okay. Yeah,
Try
I
to get
probably
signal.
don't want you to have to climb the hill. So Ms. Carmi, my request is going to be perhaps that we do an email, if you would not mind, as an officer of the court to Mr. Duggar on November 21st, thereabouts. So check your email that day.
you betcha.
And we're just going to confirm that we're going forward with the trial on the 26th. Okay,
Okay. And then, Your Honor, we had one request, especially given the, what is a likely stipulation here to the status of the license. We have subpoenaed and will subpoena for that specific date a DOL rep, just as a backup to that potential stipulation. May they appear by Zoom? We expect the testimony to be 10 minutes or less. So having them come from Olympia doesn't seem to make sense for all parties.
would you be comfortable with the person from the Department of Licensing testifying over Zoom?
Sure. What you're gonna testify to? That I don't have a license? I don't have one.
I don't know the facts of the case, but I would make an assumption that that would be it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, sounds good. Mr. Duggar, paperwork at the desk by the door. Thank you for coming in today, sir.
Lynn Matalana. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Can I have you please state your name and date of birth for the record?
First of all, I want to make note that
Hold on. What's your name and your date of birth?
I am a living, alive person
Have a seat.
here by special
I'll do it
appearance.
at the end. Go ahead. This happens to me all the time. Just have a seat.
Great. So you have a
Yeah, we're not gonna do that whole dance today. Ma'am, Miss Matalana, you wanna come back up? Give us another shot.
As I
Okay.
stated before, I'm a living, breathing woman. My name is Lynn Matalana. My date of birth is 6/12/65.
So ma'am, it looked like you wanted to have a contested hearing today.
Yes,
You've heard me talk to the other folks about what I can and can't do if we do a contested hearing, right?
yes.
Okay.
And what I'd like to do is provide the court a couple documents
Okay.
that need to be part of the recording. Do I just step up or do I give it to Bailey?
Hold on, is this evidence in regarding your case?
Yes,
What kind of evidence?
these are some recorded documents regarding my status as a national versus.
I'm not doing that. So if you have
Well,
documents
no, you
about your
absolutely
insurance.
have to do this. The whole idea.
Hold on.
The
So-
whole idea is that I have never committed a crime. I haven't, I
These
only
aren't crimes,
have,
there are 3 traffic infractions.
right.
One's for
So-
not having insurance.
Right.
One's for not
So
registering your vehicle.
the
Hold
whole
on.
key is
And-
that this documentation that is recorded in a court, this
What
documentation.
court is it from?
This is from Pima County, Arizona.
Pima County, I don't,
I
this isn't
recorded
Pima
this.
County, Arizona.
I know,
ma'am.
that's why I want it recorded here.
No, we're not doing that.
It needs to be recorded here.
No, it's not germane to your case.
Yeah, it's very germane to my case because the key here is I'm not subject to the statutes. I'm subject to laws.
I understand.
Okay, I drive very well. I take very good care of all my things. I'm
you have
going to
insurance?
ask that you dismiss it.
Do you have insurance?
I operate off of bond.
Okay.
I'm not subject to insurance and I have documentation on that too.
So you filed a
but-
bond with the state of Washington?
But you cannot,
Did you
E-
file a bond with
even-
the state of Washington?
not with the state of Washington,
Okay.
no.
All right,
So,
well, that's fine.
but I mean, even I have all this that I've registered with the Department of State
Okay.
and the Department of, and I use a passport for my licensing
Okay.
from the Department of State. And this is what this documentation shows, everything that I've submitted to the US government regarding my status.
Okay. So certainly I'm gonna, if you
And I
any
have
evidence
recorded
about-
a trust too.
Okay.
So the second thing is that every single infraction creates a bond under my account, under my strawman name.
So here's what I'm
So
gonna do.
I'm going to ask that
I'm
you
gonna allow
use,
you, I'm gonna allow you to make any argument you want about either whether you had insurance or whether your vehicle was registered or about the traffic control device. You and I are going to agree to disagree about the court's jurisdiction. I'm willing to hear that evidence. If you don't want to provide that evidence, I'm going to make my
I do
ruling.
not contract. I was
Okay.
riding with my,
That's
in my
fine.
husband's car, but I do not contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Okay. I'm going to
And
make
I
my
am-
decision and you are fine with, you can appeal it to the Superior Court in Clark County.
Okay.
Okay? Thank
Will
you, ma'am.
do.
All right. The court is going to make the following findings. This is Officer Leon's report. I did provide the petitioner, Ms. Matalana, the opportunity to provide evidence. Seems that she's contesting the court's jurisdiction, her personhood, and so forth in front of the court, which is fine. That's what a person can do. And certainly if I'm wrong about the court's jurisdiction over a case that takes place in Richfield, Washington, the Superior Court will tell me so. The officer's information shows that this red hatchback was approaching a stop eastbound off 85th Avenue in the city of Richfield, Washington, that the vehicle did not slow or stop at the intersection, which had clearly marked stop signs. As a result of that first infraction, the officer initiated contact by turning on his flashing emergency lights. The officer approached the driver. This is Officer Leon of the Richfield Police Department. The vehicle had pulled over. The officer identifies the license plate, Washington BFL 4269, explains the reason for the stop, asks the driver for her license. She states, quote, "I've dealt with you guys before and I don't provide information." The officer again asked for her driver's license, which she did provide. She's identified as Lynn Matalana by her Washington driver's license. Ms. Matalana said she would not provide insurance or proof of registration. She stated, "I don't have to give you that." When I explained that they are required to be provided to law enforcement on traffic stops, she stated, quote, "No, it's not. I'm traveling." I did inform Matalana that I would note in citation that she refused to provide documentation to me during the stop. I then issued sector citation to Matalana for failure to obey a traffic control device, failure to renew or having expired registration of greater than 2 months, and operating a motor vehicle without insurance. I am going to find, based on the officer's report and the fact that the petitioner today has provided no evidence that the failure to obey traffic control device did take place, and find that committed. Financial amount in the amount of $150. The second is to have the expired registration. Again, I asked the petitioner if she would want to provide evidence regarding the status of her registration. She said no. So again, I'm going to find that the failure to renew or having expired registration is also committed in the amount of $242. The operating a vehicle without insurance, I did ask. Ms. Matalana stated she had a bond on file with the state of Washington. That is an option in lieu of insurance. I asked her to show me the bond, which she did not agree to show me the bond. She then confirmed that she did not actually have a bond through the state of Washington. So I'm going to find that Ms. Matalana has not provided any evidence regarding the insurance as well. It'll be a $564 fine. I did inform Ms. Matalana that she could appeal my decision to the Superior Court in Clark County. I do want to note she did leave the courtroom prior to me making these rulings and findings. I did not excuse her, but she did choose to go. With that, I think we are docket complete, unless the clerks can tell me I have something else that I've neglected to do.
Mr. Moore, you can come forward, sir. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Are you Sherman Moore?
I am not.
You're not. Okay. And so are you appearing on Mr. Moore's behalf?
Yes,
Okay.
I am, and yes, here for that matter to handle the matter that's at hand.
Okay. And are you an attorney, sir?
I am the attorney, in fact, for the said name at hand here.
Okay, so you are an attorney representing Sherman Moore?
Yes, I will be handling the case for Mr. Moore.
Okay. And are you licensed by the state of Washington to practice as an attorney?
I am not licensed or a bar member or a lawyer or anything of the such, but I am here as a beneficiary executive for the said name.
Okay, before I respond, let me see if the city takes any position. Mr. Gunderson, is the city taking any position on the representation of Mr. Moore in this matter? I don't even know if you're appearing on behalf of the city in this matter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Will Gunderson, prosecuting for the city. Your Honor, the city does typically appear for the contested hearings in which officers have been subpoenaed.
Was an officer subpoenaed in this matter?
Yes. Your Honor, the officer is present. Officer Berglund is here. Your Honor, my position at this point is to request a short continuance in this case. The basis being I rely on the Judicial Information System, or JABS, review that information relevant to the particular case. Within the last 20 minutes, JABS database has gone down. Oh.
And
Do
you take a position on the representative of Mr. Moore appearing in his stead this morning for purposes of the hearing?
Your Honor, ultimately, the city would defer to the court on whether or not the individual is present is allowed to act on behalf of the defendant. To cut to the chase, Your Honor, this sounds like it might be a sovereign citizen type of situation. I don't know if the individual that is seated here is in fact the defendant, or if he is a completely separate person, separate and apart from the defendant that was pulled over at the time this incident took place. So that is a red flag, so to speak, or a question mark that does get raised in the city's mind, for which the city does believe that a further inquiry by the court may be appropriate. But ultimately, Your Honor, with regards to any representation, city will defer to the court.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gunderson. So, sir, I'm going to ask you to identify yourself for the record, please.
I am one of the people.
I'm sorry?
One of the people.
Okay. Are you or have you been previously named or identified by the state of Washington as Sherman Moore?
I am not Sherman Moore,
Okay.
the entity in which you speak of.
Okay. And do you have any relationship to Sherman Moore?
I am just the beneficiary of that name.
Okay. Well, the problem that we have here is that at this point, based upon the record that I have before me, sir, you are not authorized to represent Mr. Moore as an attorney in this matter because you are not a licensed attorney by the state of Washington. And at this point in time, based on the record, Mr. Moore has not appeared in.
Oh, he's right here, sir. Sherman Moore is right here. The name in which you speak, he is right here, sir.
Well, that, for the record, you're holding up a piece of paper.
Yes, the document, Sherman Moore, the entity in which you speak of, and one in which you tend, or this court intends to charge. So I am just the beneficiary of said entity. That is all. And that's why I'm here. So basically, I'm trying to find out the nature of said charges that pertain to said name.
Sure, certainly.
Is this a criminal or a civil matter is what I'm trying to figure out here, sir.
This is a civil matter. So Sherman Moore, or an individual identified as Sherman Moore, was issued an infraction here in the city of Lakewood on September 5th, 2024, and was ordered to respond to the issuance of that infraction, which it appears that he did, and requested a contested hearing in which he is asking to challenge the evidentiary sufficiency of the information relied upon by the issuing officer who issued the infractions or the issuance of those infractions. But by requesting that hearing, Mr. Moore, or the individual who was issued the infraction named Sherman Moore, indicated that he would appear in person as a living person here in court. And the problem that I have at this point in time is that based upon the record that I have before the court, Mr. Moore has not appeared as a living, breathing human being in this court in response to his request for a hearing.
I am simply just a man on the land that is here on behalf of that name as the beneficiary for that name.
I understand that. But at this point,
There is a claim being made, so therefore, like I said, I'm just here to understand the nature. You say it's a civil, so where is the verified complainant for said charges?
the verified complainant is the city of Lakewood, represented by the attorney on behalf of the city, who is seated in the courtroom to your left, appearing down to my right. And Mr. Gunderson, I'm just going to ask you to formally identify yourself for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Will Gunderson, prosecuting for the city. I am licensed to practice law in the state of Washington. My bar number is 46991.
So the plaintiff in this case is the city of Lakewood. They are appearing here this morning through counsel, or this afternoon through counsel. It also appears that the officer who issued the infraction to Mr. Moore is also present in court in response to the subpoena that was issued for his appearance. It appears that the only individual who has failed to appear for this hearing is the respondent, Sherman Moore. And so at this point in time, with the matter having been on the calendar at 10:30 a.m., it's now 12:04 p.m. Given that Mr. Sherman Moore has not appeared in person for this hearing, pursuant to the rules for infractions in Washington courts, the court will find that Mr. Moore has failed to appear and will enter a finding of committed to each of the 5 infractions. And I believe that concludes our court's calendar for today. So thank you all very much. At this point in time, the court will be at recess.
Understood, Judge.
Oh yeah, I'll do it in the, yep.
All right. Court is in recess.
So are we continuing or what's? Based off of what grounds or what?
Mr. Moore did not.
Sherman Moore is here. I am the man of the Moore, Sherman of the Moore family. I am not the entity in which you speak of. What? What kind of charade show is going on here? So what happens now? I have to file an appeal? Okay, okay. So I'm being railroaded. So the officer never had to show or anything, basically on the basis that so the witness or the subpoena I never got to cross-examine.
All right, the Devontae Richard matter 2A04000092 and 2A04000113. Sir Richard, if you could activate your audio and video so I know that you are hearing. Okay, thank you. Wanted to make sure you were participating. Now, is this the case that I believe I saw recently there was a eval set up and they were unable to reach him to participate in that evaluation?
That's my understanding, Your Honor. I saw that as well. I think the last time we were in court, counsel indicated that the meeting had been set up to do the evaluation and the date was discussed. And it looks like Mr. Richard did not appear for that.
And for the record, Sean Parent for Mr. Richard. Yes, unfortunately, that appears to be the case. I'm not sure why Mr. Richard didn't appear at the evaluation.
So, Mr. Richard, we've been waiting for you to talk to one of the doctors, and we've been setting this case over for that to happen. When you were here on April 8th, we discussed that you were scheduled for that appointment on April 24th. So I know that you were aware that they had you calendared. Mr. Richard, why didn't you show up for that appointment?
Well, that was an assumption. I wasn't aware of anything.
Well, you were at the hearing when we talked about it, so.
I don't recall.
You participated on Zoom on April 8th, and we discussed that your evaluation was calendared for the 24th of April.
Was there anything signed for confirmation?
Your attorney has been working to get that set up. So.
Well, I haven't talked to anybody.
Mr. Parent, have you been in contact with Mr. Richard?
Looks like my office, we tried to reach him to make sure that he appeared at the evaluation, but we are unsuccessful in reaching him.
Do you have proof of that?
Yes, I have my colleague's notes that we tried to get a hold of you.
And what was the number?
I'll tell you in just a moment.
Yes.
Mr. Basler, you are excused. Thank you so much for your help this morning.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So, Mr. Richard, we have the phone number that ends in 1752.
I'm talking about the number you supposedly contacted the defendant on.
Yeah, you're the defendant, and it's the phone number that ends in 1752.
That's an assumption and presumption. I'm not nobody's defendant. I'm not authorized representative of that account.
Okay, so Mr. Richard, the thing is, if you cannot participate out of custody, the court may have to set bail and have you placed in custody to get this evaluation accomplished. So when you are informed of the appointment and then you choose not to appear, the court interprets that as a willful violation.
Under what law are you saying that I could? What charges? What are the charges?
We've gone over that. You have been told that you are charged with driving while license suspended and driving without an ignition interlock device. So I understand you disagree, but at this point we need to.
I don't disagree with none of the facts. I said, what was the date?
The date of the driving? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I don't drive, so I'm trying to figure out the date you have on file.
June 4th, 2022, Your Honor, is the charge date.
Thank you.
Okay, and have I been charged with anything?
Yes.
And what is it? What are the charges?
As the court just read aloud, driving while license suspended and driving without a functioning ignition interlock.
And is there a witness that you can bring to attain to that?
Those are the criminal charges. You also were cited for not having insurance.
Yeah, but do you have a witness?
Yes, the city has witnesses. We have the officer that will be testifying.
The officer. Okay, well, can you read the police ticket on the record?
We're not having a trial today. We're trying to figure out whether or not you are competent and able to proceed in this matter, and that requires that you speak to a doctor. But that is what we're trying to accomplish. And Mr. Richard, if you refuse.
Can you explain to me? I don't understand. So can you explain to me how?
We've explained this to you previously. So what I'm going to ask you is whether or not you are going to comply with meeting the doctor out of jail, or does the court need to set bail and have you booked into custody so they can talk to you there? That's not what I'm wanting to do. I would like you to cooperate and have this case proceed with you out of custody.
Well, I need some type of contract to obtain to whatever you're asking, because I have questions and you're not answering them. Are you
And Your
willfully not answering any questions?
Your Honor, at this point, I think given the track record of Mr. Richard and his unwillingness to comply, the city is going to be asking that the court set bail and remand him on that bail to have the evaluation done in custody.
Mr. Richard, can you assure the court that you will come to an out of custody evaluation?
I will agree to anything if you guys can tell me the nature and cause of this action. My Sixth Amendment right. I need to know these things before we can move further. Are you refusing to tell me?
I didn't quite hear your question. What are you asking?
I need to know the nature and cause of this action. I need to know that before we can move forward.
Yeah, I believe that the court has told you that you're being charged with driving a license suspended in the 3rd degree and operating a motor vehicle without an ignition interlock device.
Okay, well, I have a question for the judge.
What's that,
Hello?
Mr. Richard?
Hello?
Mr. Richard?
Hello? Or can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You should sit down and then instead of having me facing you at the clouds, you should participate in this hearing. Thank you. So every time we have a hearing, you ask these same questions and we've explained to you that you're facing criminal charges and that we need to have the doctor speak to you. And so right now, your option is whether or not, as your attorney said, you can agree to meet with the doctors and stay out of jail to do that, or the court will have to remand you into custody so that they can
So
talk to you
basically,
while
you're
you're
telling
in
me you're
jail.
refusing to answer me. You're refusing to answer any questions? That's what you're saying? Because I just have questions.
All right, does
Hello?
not, Mr. Richard? We've answered your questions. We're going to proceed at this point. I'm going to.
I didn't even ask the question. So how did you answer it? That's what I'm saying. Are you refusing to answer the questions?
What do you want to know besides what you're charged with? What was your other questions?
My other question was, did you or did you not take an oath to uphold the Constitution? Can I just get a yes or no?
That would be a yes.
So you're enforcing statutes right now, and so you're totally going against your oath. So I'm trying to figure out what authority do you have to tell me to do anything as a public servant? Can you answer that question, please?
Mr. Richard, I am authorized by the revised Code of Washington to sit in this court. I'm duly appointed to be a municipal court judge. I've taken my oath. You're charged with a violation of the RCW and the Lake Forest Park Municipal Code.
Why are you enforcing statutes if you took an oath to uphold the Constitution?
I know you don't think that it applies to you, but it does. So
I didn't say it didn't apply to me.
I'm going to set bail in this matter at $10,000.
You're making assumptions, ma'am. You're making assumptions, ma'am. I never said it didn't apply to me. But we both know here that the Constitution is not for me. It is for the public servants. So I don't know why you're making assumptions and presumptions. All I had was questions. And you're just going around me.
So,
Obfuscation is
I'm
a
going
big
to
thing
set
now.
bail at $10,000 and we're going to end this hearing, Mr. Richard. You can report to jail. You can come in, but we are trying to do this without you having to be in custody, but you are refusing to cooperate.
I didn't refuse anything. I was never put on notice. So I didn't refuse anything.
I know you were put on notice at our last hearing. So that's on the record. So
What's
I
on the
know that
record?
to be false, Mr. Richard. So that
So
is
everything that I asked you, am I wrong? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you're wrong. So we're going to fix this and we are done on this matter. Mr. Parent, if he does reach out to you and something can be arranged for them, but right now the doctors have tried twice to contact you and you've taken a spot that would have been available to someone else. So we need to progress this matter and that bail will be set and we'll continue with an in custody hearing date when you are booked. A warrant will be issued.
And upon the booking, Your Honor, would the court consider amending the competency evaluation order to reflect in custody, just to kind of expedite that process?
Yes.
For the record, the judge is willingly going against public policy. So on hearing in, you're held liable for everything you do from here on out.
All right, thank you, Mr. Richard.
For the record.
Well, guys, we've come to the end of this proceeding. And as we can see, Mr. Devontae Richards definitely had his sovereign citizen head on, definitely was all about playing games with Judge Jennifer Grant. This is my second or third time in her courtroom. And to me, I think Judge Grant sometimes gives a lot more leniency than she needs to. I've seen other defendants really talk over her. I will say for the prosecutor, she's normally pretty firm in her stance and what she has to say. But nonetheless, at least Judge Grant was firm enough and, bold enough to hit him with that $10,000 bond, being that he wouldn't comply with the competency evaluation appointment. He kept talking about, the cause to action and what are my charges, just really playing the game. But she did go ahead, as the prosecutor recommended, and gave him the $10,000 bond so that he can do the competency hearing while he is in custody, since he will not comply while he is out free, which doesn't make any sense. But it just goes to show you how far these guys are willing to take this sovereign citizen script. But with that being said, guys, thank you once again for joining me for another episode of Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame. It is much appreciated. And with that being said, Sovereign Citizens Court for now, guys, is adjourned. Thank you. See you in the next proceeding. God bless.
I'm not threatening you. Say one more word and that's 30 days. 30 days.